Hello everybody and welcome to another video. My name is Vince and I'm a young filmmaker from Hungary, and today I am going to review the Panasonic 12 to 60mm lens. It's a kit lens actually that comes with the Lumix G85 or the G7. It's an optional purchase, and I think it is definitely worth the money, but let me tell you why. So this is the 5th episode of the Gear Talk. So as per usual, I am going to tell you the pros and the cons of this lens that I found, and help you to decide whether you should buy this lens or not. And if you want to buy it, you can do it in the description down below on Amazon. So the first pro is the build quality. It's actually a very well built lens. It's made out of aluminium, and the bands are made out of plastic, but the main thing is made out of aluminium, and that's very good because it's not going to break very easily and it feels good in the hand. So that's a pretty good pro of this lens, and let's move on to the second. So the second pro is the super wide zoom range. You can get pretty much any angle that you want from standing in one place, and yeah, from close-ups to wide shots you can get pretty much everything, and I'm going to show you some examples on zooming this lens. How does the zoom makes the background more blurry, and yeah, how much can you zoom with it. So the third pro is the price itself. If you're buying it in bundle with your main body, then it's going to be about $90 more than the body only, and it's a great lens for that price. But if you already have some pro lenses, then don't buy this, of course. But if you're a beginner and just want to buy a new G7 or G85, make sure to buy this lens with it. Okay, let's move on to the fourth pro, which is that it's actually very compact compared to full frame lenses, for example, because it's more like 24 to 70mm, and it's much smaller, as you can see. In comparison to my iPhone, it's actually smaller than my iPhone 6. So that's a pretty good thing, that you can just throw it in your backpack and you don't have to worry about it, and it won't take up much space. But it's actually bigger than most Micro Four Thirds lenses, but still smaller than APS-C or full frame lenses. So the fifth pro that I want to talk about is that it's actually weather sealed, which is a premium feature actually, but you get it with this lens, and it's actually pretty safe to use it in the rain, but I don't recommend it, so you don't use it. But it will survive some smaller splashes and things like that, so that's a great thing. But let's move on to the bad things about this lens, which are the cons. So the first con is that this lens doesn't have a constant aperture, which means that if you are zooming with it, it's going to change the aperture and your image will get darker. But you know, for this price you can't get constant aperture lenses. Those start from about $1,000, so I think for this money it's still a great lens, don't get me wrong, but that's a very bad thing, that you have to change your exposure all the time when you're zooming with this lens. And the second pro is that dust can get pretty easily inside your lens when you're zoomed with it. As you can see, there's a pretty big gap in the lens, and I've already had some problems with it, and then the zooming will feel like you're scratching your lens, because that's actually what you're doing. So be careful and try not to get any like dust or things like that inside your lens, because that's not a good thing. And the third and the last con is that when you're at 60mm, it's not very sharp. As you can see in these images, you're not going to get super sharp images with it, because yeah, it's not still not a professional lens, but it's still a decent lens even when you're zoomed in all the way down. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And also thank you so much guys for 100 subscribers. It means a lot. And thank you Rory for sharing my work with your audience on Instagram. I hope to see you on the next video. Until then, bye.